Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist James Longworth with Dynamic Weather Agency LLC. Today we're going to be talking about our next upcoming major winter storm system, major winter storm Uri by the Weather Channel, that's going to be impacting parts of the south central United States into the Great Plains, eventually up into the mid-Atlantic, and eventually into the northeast. Now, as we take a look at our current national radar this afternoon, you can see we have some of those mountain snow conditions continuing to impact parts of the Pacific Northwest and parts of the Cascades and northern Rockies and the Rocky Mountain region today and even into tomorrow and even over the next couple of days, where we're expected to see significant snowfall in some of those higher elevation regions through there. Over the Midwest and Great Lakes region, we do have a disturbance moving on through, bringing some snowfall to that region today. Not expecting much with snow accumulations across that area today with this, because our next major player is going to be that winter storm system coming out from Texas, moving its way through the Central Plains into the Great Lakes region. Now, as we take a look into parts of the Mid-Atlantic this afternoon, you can see we have some mixed precipitation occurring across parts of Virginia, West Virginia, even to parts of Maryland, and even to Delaware and southern New Jersey this morning, and bringing some impacts to that area, where we also have some mesoscale discussions in effect, and we have some ice storm warnings currently in effect across this area that we'll see a little bit later on as we get into today's video. As we zoom back out and take a look at parts of the southeast, taking a look at Florida this morning and afternoon, you can see we've had some thunderstorms and some convective activity occurring across this area. You can see some of those lightning strikes with that. We're expecting some severe storms to develop over this area today, tomorrow, and even to the next day. So stay tuned a little bit further in today's video for more information about that. But first, before I get into today's video, I do want to encourage you guys to hit that like button, subscribe down below to our channel, and share this video with your friends and family so we can help make them weather aware. Also, be sure to check us out on social media, where you can send us your weather-related photos and videos that we'd love to share in our future and upcoming videos. Again, those links to those social media pages can be found down below in the description section of this video. And last but not least, be sure to check out our Patreon page to help support this channel so I can continue to make weather-related content like this and storm chasing videos like you can see on our channel, and fund some of our research we have going on here at Dynamic Weather Agency LLC. We have many different packages and tiers for you guys to choose from, with exclusive content and perks for our Patreon subscribers, including early access to posts about some other things we're doing behind the scenes and some new things we're adding to our website, along with live QAs and some other cool content for our Patreon subscribers only. Again, the link can be found down below in the description. Now, getting into today's video, taking a look at our weather headlines, we're going to be talking about this very active weather pattern we have going on across the United States, bringing these multiple rounds of some of these winter storm systems that we're going to be expecting to see. Then we're going to be taking a look at our current National Weather Service hazards, those winter weather watches, warnings, and advisories. And then we'll be taking a look at our winter storm severity index, showing the potential for this major winter storm system, some of the impacts that could happen. We'll then get into this next major winter storm system. We'll take a look at our weather models. We'll get into our forecast of snowfall accumulations, and we'll talk a little bit about the timing of this event. And then last but not least, we'll get into some severe weather with this major winter storm system that we could be expecting to see across parts of the southeast ahead of this winter storm. Now, taking a look at our national forecast. This is our national forecast for at least the next couple of days, for at least the next 72 hours. West of the Rocky Mountain regions, you can see we have a lot of mountain snow conditions occurring over there in the Cascades, northern Rockies, even the Mongolian Rim, and parts of Arizona, even in some of the higher elevations in Nevada, with some areas in some of those valleys that could see a little bit of snow accumulation across that area. But our major player is going to be that major winter storm system moving its way out of Texas. It's going to develop on over there, moving its way through the Central Plains into the Ohio Valley, eventually into the Northeast. And not only with that system is it going to be, significant snowfall accompanying that system further to the south. There's going to be the potential for some freezing rain, some ice conditions, where we also have some ice storm warnings today, with a little bit of that disturbance moving through parts of, the mid-Atlantic today. Further across the southeast, rain and heavy rain conditions are expected to continue over the next couple of days, even over the next 5 days over this region where heavy rain is expected to continue. We have this nice Bermuda high pressure system, the semi-permanent pressure system off the southeastern United States is bringing some nice southerly winds that's combining with kind of a stationary boundary across that area, that's bringing significant rainfall to that area, along with the chance for some severe weather as we start to see some instability building back into the region. Now, taking a look at that active weather pattern, taking a look at the European model for the next 144 hours is looking about a week out to about 7 a.m. on the 19th of February. And this is basically just kind of showing us kind of this active pattern we're going to kind of see and where those highest hit areas could be. Now, the snowfall totals on this map right here, you can't take them for verbatim because you have multiple systems moving in. You're going to have some melting of some snow and stuff like that. And when you start getting this far out with the weather models start to exaggerate some of the snowfall totals just a little bit. But this is going to give you kind of an idea of those regions that can see, the most impactful or the most likelihood of seeing some snowfall over the next week or so with multiple systems moving on through with this very active pattern. And we even see that as we take a look at the European ensemble forecast, the GFS and even the GFS ensemble, they're all pretty much showing that very active weather pattern that we could be seeing over the next week or so. Now, taking a look at this very active weather pattern off the western coast of the United States, off the Baja of California, we do have this nice area of high pressure over the Pacific and this nice upper level ridge on over the region on over here that's allowing for these nice deep upper level troughs to move through parts of the central United States. With these deep upper level troughs, we have these nice areas of energy moving through these troughs, is allowing for the development of these multiple surface lows that are going to ride this mean flow through the Central Plains up through the Ohio Valley into the Northeast as these systems are being blocked by, again, another strong area of high pressure off the southeastern coast of the United States, this Bermuda Azores High, this semi-permanent pressure system. We have this nice ridge on over the region on over here, and these systems are being forced to ride up and over that ridge on through there, seeing these multiple systems ride that same pattern for the next week or so. Now, getting into our next major winter storm system, taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center's current mesoscale discussions. We do have a mesoscale discussion out currently for areas of freezing rain with occasional sleet that will continue to impact much of the mid-Atlantic through the early afternoon today. Now, taking a look at those current National Weather Service hazards, those winter weather watches, warnings, and advisories. Again, those purples are those winter weather advisories. Those pinks are those winter storm warnings. Those blue indigo colors are those winter storm watches. And those kind of dark magenta purplish colors, those are those ice storm warnings that you can see over there in the mid-Atlantic. Now, as we take a closer look at the Pacific Northwest, again, we have those winter storm warnings affecting places like Seattle, Portland, Boise, even like just east of Idaho Falls. We have some of those winter storm warnings currently in effect with those winter weather advisories surrounding some of those areas for like Colorado Springs, Denver, Twin Falls, all within some of those winter weather advisories. Again, this is mostly due to some of those mountain snow conditions that we're expected to see move through those areas with some mid to upper level moisture and some orographic lift in these regions, providing the enhancement for some mountain snow conditions across parts of the Pacific Northwest. Now, taking a look at the southwest of the United States, we can see in parts of California, we do have some winter weather advisories in parts of the Sierra Nevada mountain region over there, just east of Sacramento and west of Reno, Nevada. Again, in Arizona, we do have some winter weather advisories, again, near Flagstaff and the Mogollon Rim, where we can see some snowfall again over there in some of those higher elevations within that region. But as we move into the south central United States, take a look at some of these winter storm warnings and winter storm watches currently in effect ahead of this major winter storm system. Places like Amarillo, Abilene, Dallas, Waco, Austin, San Antonio, Shreveport, Texarkana, Little Rock, Fort Smith, Oklahoma City, Eden, all within those winter storm warnings currently in effect ahead of this major winter storm system. You see the places like Lubbock, Midland, Houston, Lafayette, Alexandria, Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Nashville, all within some of those winter storm watches out ahead of this major winter storm system. Now, taking a closer look at the central United States, Garden City, Hayes, Wichita, Kansas City, Springfield, Grand Island, North Platte, Sterling, Colorado Springs, Denver, Fort Collins within some of those winter weather advisories ahead of this major winter storm system. Taking a look at the Midwest, places like Indianapolis, Bloomington, Vincennes, Evansville, Louisville, Bowling Green, Lexington, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, all within some of those winter storm watches out ahead of this major winter storm system. We do have some lake effect snow creating some winter weather advisories for places like South Bend, right around Lake Michigan. Now, taking a look at the mid-Atlantic, take a look. We have some of those winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings in effect for places across the mid-Atlantic, but those ice storm warnings for places like Richmond and Blackstone currently in effect this morning and afternoon, out ahead of this major winter storm with kind of that disturbance moving through that region today. Again, these advisories and storm warnings are not for that next upcoming major winter storm. It's for that disturbance moving through, as we saw on our current radar earlier this afternoon. Now, what do those winter storm warnings, watches, and weather advisories mean? Those weather advisories mean that wintry weather is expected and to exercise caution. Light amounts of snow and wintry precipitation or patchy blowing snow will cause slick conditions that could affect travel, and precautions are not really taken. But those winter storm warnings mean that snow, sleet, or ice is expected and you should take action now. Confidence is high that a winter storm will produce heavy snow, sleet, freezing rain, and cause significant impacts within those regions. And those winter storm watches means that ice, sleet, and snow are possible. The conditions are there, and to be prepared. Confidence is medium that a winter storm will produce heavy snow, sleet, or freezing rain and cause significant impacts within those regions. So taking a look at our winter storm severity index, what components go into this index? Well, first of all, it takes a look at the snow amount, the amount of accumulating snowfall along with some snowfall rates. It's also taking a look at the snow load, basically the weight of snow. Is this going to be a light, fluffy snow, or is this going to be a wet, heavy, thick snow? It's also taking a look at some wind components, the possibility for some blowing and drifting snow. Along with those wind components, is also taking a look at some visibility components. With that blowing and drifting snow, if they meet certain wind criteria and certain visibility criteria, they would meet, and for a prolonged period of about 3 hours or more, it would meet some blizzard criteria conditions. So it's taking a look, are we going to meet blizzard criteria, or are we going to see blizzard-like conditions for short periods of time? It's also taking a look at flash freeze and ice, so basically the potential for surfaces to become ice covered along with the amount of accumulating ice. Now taking a look at our day one winter storm severity index, we have some minor and moderate impacts expected across parts of the central United States today in the Pacific Northwest, west of the Rockies. Again, some minor and moderate impacts with some major impacts in parts of the Sierra Nevadas and some of the higher elevations of the Rockies and northern Rocky Mountain regions. But as we move into day two, taking a look at tomorrow, when we start expecting to see some of the impacts of this major winter storm system, take a look at those. Big area of moderate to even major impacts with this major winter storm system, again due to some of that significant snowfall, some of that icing expected to develop with this major winter storm system. You can see some of those impacts right here expected across parts of the south central United States, into parts of the central plains, and even parts of the Tennessee Valley region tomorrow. As we move into day three, again, those impacts are expanding their way further into the Ohio Valley and Midwest, but still take a look across parts of the south central United States. Those moderate to even major impacts are expected across this region with this major winter storm system expected to occur. Now, those minor impacts, again, are roughly equating to those NWS advisory level criteria. Minor disruptions primarily to those who are generally not prepared for this system, with none to minimal recovery time needed if you're in those minor areas. Now, if you're in those moderate areas, now those are roughly equating to those NWS warning level criteria. Definite impacts to those with little preparation, perhaps a day or two of recovery time for the snow and ice to subside and for road crews to get out there to continue to treat those roads with some of the significant snowfall and ice expected to develop. Those major impacts, those are significant impacts that will even affect those with preparation, several days of recovery time for snow and ice accumulation to subside and for those road crews to keep up with some of this stuff. Now, taking a look at our futurecast radar, again today, this afternoon, we are seeing some of that freezing rain and mixed precipitation occurring across parts of West Virginia and Virginia with this kind of low pressure system. We have that heavy rain conditions are going to continue to occur across parts of the southeast. We have those snow conditions occurring across parts of the Great Lakes region. That's eventually going to move its way into the northeast and eventually moving its way into Canada and off the eastern coast. But our main focus is going to be in that Pacific Northwest. It's in that mid and upper level energy, moving on into the region with some of that low to mid-level moisture moving on through there. We have that mountain snow conditions in the Cascades, the Rockies, and the Pacific Northwest across the Sierra Nevadas too. We'll see some of that move its way into the Colorado Plateau and the Mongolian Rim as we move out throughout the day today. Again, Freezing rain conditions across parts of the mid-Atlantic, moving its way off the coast. Heavy rain across parts of the southeast. That snow across the Great Lakes, moving its way into the northeast and eventually into Canada. You can see some of that energy moving out of the Pacific Northwest into parts of the Central Plains and the South Central United States. You can see the heavy snowfall beginning to occur across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. See some of that freezing rain beginning to develop across parts of the southeast as we move into Sunday afternoon and evening and even into the overnight hours. But as we move into Monday morning, take a look at some of the ice accumulations and freezing rain that we can see expected across parts of the South Central United States, even into the Tennessee and lower Mississippi Valley region. That's going to be, creating some very hazardous conditions as your morning commute on the way to work on that day, along with the significant snowfall further to the north of these regions. As we move throughout Monday, snowfall continuing to occur across parts of the Ohio Valley, Midwest, sleet and heavy rain conditions further to the south, stretching all the way from the lower Mississippi Valley into that Tennessee Valley and even the southern Ohio Valley region. As we continue throughout Monday into Tuesday, the system is going to move its way out of the Ohio Valley and into the northeast, where we can expect to see still some freezing rain, ice accumulation further to the south, southeastern New York, and even parts of Massachusetts. As we move into Tuesday morning, and even as we move throughout the day on Tuesday, we'll see some lingering snow conditions across parts of the northeast. And then as we take a look again further back towards the South Central United States, we have that another disturbance moving on in, where we're going to see our next round of snow with that system moving through parts of Oklahoma and Texas again, with some freezing precipitation expected to occur again with this next potential major winter storm system. So we'll have to continue to look at this one to see if this will turn into a major winter storm, or if we're going to see some less significant snowfall with this next system. Now, taking a look at our forecasted ice accumulations with this potential major winter storm system, taking a look at parts of the South Central United States, parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, take a look at some of those significant ice accumulations of about 0.3 to 0.4 of an inch expected across some of those areas, according to the National Weather Service. That's some significant ice accumulation, so expect some very slippery roads and some dangerous travel conditions across those areas with this potential major winter storm system. Even as we move into parts of Kentucky and West Virginia and some of those higher elevation areas over there, as we start moving towards the Appalachian Mountain region and stuff like that, again, we still have some significant icing expected across that area today. Even some of the significant icing again occurring across parts of the mid-Atlantic today, but that stuff has been pretty much occurring for today. So some of those some of those ice accumulation totals across that area are a little bit lower on this forecast chart, as we would have had to look at previous charts, but they were expecting some significant icing across that area today. Now, taking a look at our forecasted accumulated snowfall. Now, first taking a look at the European model for the next 72 hours, basically looking at until 7 a.m. on the 16th of February. Now, you can see the European model, and even as we take a look at most of the other models, the consistency between the other models is starting to become very good. We're starting to see good forecast model consistency between the models. As you take a look at the European model again, we're mostly going to focus on the major winter storm system. Again, across the western United States, we're going to see mountain snow conditions across the Pacific Northwest, the Cascades, and the Sierra Nevadas, and even to parts of the Rockies and northern Rockies. But taking a look at the South Central United States into the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast. Now, taking a look at the European model solution, you can see this nice area of purple, this nice swath of basically 7 to 10 inches of snow expected across this area. According to the European model solution, stretching all the way from Louisiana into parts of Pennsylvania, according to this model solution. Now, as we take a look at the GFS model is very similar to that, as in almost the placements of this. It moves it a little bit further to the east, a little bit further to the south, according to the GFS model solution. And the GFS model solution also seems to be moving the system a little bit faster, as you can see some of that snowfall extending further into the northeast, according to the GFS model solution, much quicker within the 72-hour period than according to the European model solution. Now, as we take a look at the Germany icon model, again, the placement is pretty similar to the European model solution. Doesn't extend that area of 7 to 10 inches of snow within that purple as far south as the European model did. As you see that moving us all the way into basically Louisiana and eastern Texas. This model is kind of having that beginning to start in parts of extreme north western Mississippi, stretching its way into south western New York, according to the Germany icon model with this potential storm system. The Canadian model is very similar to the Germany icon model within snowfall totals and the placements of these snowfall totals within this region. Now, as we take a look at the National Weather Service blend of models, again, this is one of my favorite models to take a look at. You can see this model solution, how it's suggesting, you can see some of the significant snowfall, 6 to 8 inches across parts of Oklahoma. And then you can see that nice swath, basically 5 to basically 8 to 10 inches, like stretching all the way from Louisiana up into the Tennessee, Ohio Valley, and moving its way into the northeast, according to this model solution. Now, as we take a look at the National Weather Service forecast, again, you can see some of that significant snowfall across parts of Oklahoma, southern Kansas, and even northern Texas. And then as we take a look at parts of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, into parts of the Northeast, again, you can see some of that significant snowfall as depicted by the National Weather Service's forecast. Now, as we take a look at the European ensemble, again, not showing that much of that snowfall over parts in Oklahoma and Texas. Not really many of the models are really showing some of that significant snowfall across that area of Texas, Oklahoma and Texas, as the National Weather Service blended models is about the only one that's actually showing the potential for some of that significant snowfall across that region. Now, as we take a look at the European ensemble, again, all the models were pretty good about this, a nice swath of 7 to basically 8 to 10 inches of snow across parts of southern Indiana, central Ohio, into parts of the northeast and parts of southwestern New York. So the model consistency with that is pretty good. Now, taking a look at the European EPS probability for snowfall greater than 3 inches of snow, you can see some of those areas basically stretching. You can see that nice area across Oklahoma and Texas where significant probabilities for snowfall to exceed 3 inches across that area. And then you can see, again, stretching all the way from eastern Texas all the way into the northeast, a good probability for snowfall to exceed 3 inches over the next 90 hours. This is going a little bit farther out, taking a look at the whole event of this winter storm system. Now, taking a look at probabilities for snowfall over 6 inches. Again, we have that probability over parts of Oklahoma and even parts of the Texas Panhandle across here. And then you can see that nice swath basically beginning across parts of Mississippi all the way into the northeast for probabilities of snowfall to exceed 6 inches across some of these regions right over here. Now, taking a look at our in-house forecasted accumulated snowfall maps that we have here. This is one of our model runs and model solutions that we can see. Again, taking a look at the Pacific Northwest mountain snow conditions, Cascade Mountains, 16 to 24 inches with some areas seeing over 24 inches of snow over the next 72 hours. The Southwest, you can see some of those snowfall conditions occurring again in those higher elevations. You can see the mountains and the dendritic as depicted by our high resolution model right here for some of those snowfall occurring across parts of the Mongolian Rim and the Colorado Plateau. Now, taking a look at this central United States, again, take a look at this. We have this nice area of 5 to 8 inches of snow as depicted across parts of Oklahoma and even parts of northern Texas and along the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma City, Elk City, Eden, Tulsa, Wichita Falls, all within that area of 5 to 8 inches of snow expected across this area. Now, taking a look at the Midwest and even parts of the Northeast, places like east of Indianapolis, Louisville, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Albany, Williamsport, Burlington, and just north of Portland, all within this area of nice 5 to 8 inches of snow. Could see some lake effect enhancements, bring some more significant snowfall to parts of the Northeast, across Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, with places like Cleveland, Jamestown, Syracuse, Kingston, Burlington, right here within the mountainous region, that could see some enhanced snowfall across this area of 8 to 12 inches of snow. And this is still forecasted to change across this region, as I see the potential possibly for some of this 8 to 12 to move through parts of central Ohio into maybe parts of southern Indiana. We'll have to take a look at that a little bit further, as some of the models are kind of depicting that, but forecast confidence with that right now is still kind of on the 50% or less side right now. Now, taking a look at severe weather across parts of the southeastern United States, taking a look at Florida, today we do have a marginal risk for severe weather across that region, again, mainly for the primary threat for some isolated tornadoes and some damaging winds. As we move into tomorrow, again, that threat is going to be increased into a slight risk for severe weather, a level 2. And this is going to be, again, for marginal tornado threat and even some damaging winds. And same thing as we move into day 3, level 1, marginal risk for severe weather affecting parts of Florida and even parts of southern Georgia. Again, for the threat for some isolated tornadoes and some marginal damaging wind gusts over the next couple of days. After that, confidence is low for severe weather, so we'll have to continue to monitor that and continue to update our forecast for severe weather past the next 3 days. Again, I would like to thank you guys for checking out today's video. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and share this video with your friends and family. Again, you can find those links to our social media pages down below in the description, and be sure to visit us online at our website, dynamicweatheragency.com. Again, those links can be found down below in the description. I am meteorologist James Longworth signing off for today. You guys have a great and wonderful day. Again, I would like to thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. Again, like I've mentioned in previous videos, why I've not been able to do daily uploads. I am currently serving active duty in the Air Force. That is my primary job, is doing weather for the Air Force. My secondary job is doing private weather consulting and forecasting, along with making some of these YouTube videos and storm chasing. So that is kind of my secondary thing. I love weather and I love doing weather, so that's why I continue to try to make videos as much as I can. With that, I switched over to night shifts this month, and we'll be switching back sometime in March back to days. So my sleep schedule has just been really messed up because I got a wife and I got a kid, and I've been trying to just be here as much as I can with them, so I'm not sleeping as much as I should be. So I spent my days off kind of really trying to get rested up, because I've just been trying to stay up as much as I can to spend time with my family, along with making YouTube videos for you guys and continue to do some of my consulting work on the side. So again, thank you guys so much for basically sticking in with me with this. Again, like I said, you guys, if you guys can support us on Patreon and stuff like that, that'd be very much appreciated. It would help me be more motivated to make videos like this, along with some of the cool content and cool ideas I have done. Besides some of the things I've been doing on the back end, I've been trying to create weather models for our website. Been doing a lot of coding and stuff on the back end of stuff that you guys have not been able to see. I have a tropical weather page that I hope to be pushing out for you guys here when it comes hurricane season, so I can't wait to start making hurricane type videos, and along with some videos talking about severe weather. So I got a lot of cool things planned in store. Again, thank you guys so much for sticking with us over the past couple of days while I have not been able to do daily uploads or blog posts. So thank you guys so much.